Wow. Okay.
Put them on this long ago. John. John doesn't see us. Shirley's birthday. Cake. I said she's gonna know you there. I know it. I will know you're there.
You got it?
Call meeting to order. Young County Commissioners Court sitting in a regular meeting. It's Monday, August 13th, 2018. It is 9:36 a.m. This meeting was posted, published, cited for the time and manner required, and make note that all members of the court are present. It's convenient, please rise for our invocation. Statement of Commissioner Wiley.
Let's pray. Father, he's coming through right now. We just want to thank you, Father, for another day, Father, for your many blessings. Father, we want to thank you for this rain that you're about to send our way, Father. Father, we just ask that you be with those around us that's lost their loved ones, Father, and just pray for comfort in those and their families, Father. Father, we also ask that you be with those in California and around us fighting the wildfires and those that's lost their houses, Father. I pray that you be with them. Father, we ask you also to be with us during this budget time, Father. We pray for your wisdom and guidance and direction in all that we say and all that we do. We ask all this in your precious name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Item number 3, public comments, announcements, and presentations. We have one on the agenda. That would be Luke Robbins, Chief Appraiser, Young Central Appraisal District.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for having me. The purpose of my visit today is to give you a kind of a rundown of the return on investment that we've gained from the technologies we've bought over the last, about 3 years. We've spent a little money at the appraisal district, and we've finally got it kind of meshing together and working together, and we're able to start to see where we made a pretty good decision, I think. So with that said, I'm going to go run you through these slideshow here and show you how I got to where we're at. The purpose of our return on investment study was to analyze and collect data to determine any positive or negative effects of our technology implementation. There we go. We needed to allocate the cost of the technology to each taxing unit to ascertain the individual investment of each unit. Then we need to compare the gains or losses in tax revenue to the the investment cost and arrive at a return of investment for Whitecat as a whole and each individual tax community. So for data analysis, to gauge the effect of the technology implication, I studied the amount of new taxable value that was added to the tax roll each year from 2011 through 2018. I first studied 2011 to 2015 to develop a pre-implementation benchmark of the new value added each year. We had to know where we were starting. Normally, what kind of new value did we see added every year before we implemented the technology? So countywide, I found that new value added in each of these years to be relatively consistent. We had, in 2011, we had about $6.2 million, in 12, $5.1 million, 2013, $5.9 million, 14 was 4.8, 15 was $6 million, a little over $6 million in 2015. So to develop a benchmark, I used the average of those years, 2011 to 2015. So our benchmark that we used was $5.6 million for normal activity in new value each year. So next I studied the years 2016 through 2018 and recorded the amount of new value in each of those years. I saw a significant increase in the amount of new value added in those years in comparison to the benchmark. 2016 we picked up 12.1 million, 18.8 million in 17, 13.2 million in 2018. So to express the gain or loss per year, I subtracted the benchmark from the amount of new value in each year. So it was 12 in 2016, 12.1 minus 5.6. We had a gain of $6.4 million. 17, it was 18.8 million minus the 5.6 million. We saw a gain of 13.2 million. In 18, it's 13.2 million minus the 5.6, and we had showed a gain of $7.5 million in taxable value. Wait, there's more. To truly express the gain of the new value over the last 3 years, you must keep in mind that value, it doesn't go away. So that gain continues to be a gain year after year when you're comparing it to the benchmark. So in 2016, we gained 6.4 million. That gain's still there in 17. So in 17, we gained 13.2 million of new value, plus the 6.4 that's still a gain from the year before. We saw in 17, we saw a $19.6 million gain. And so forth in 18, we gained 7.5. Plus the 6.4 plus the 19.6. Wait for it. Wait for it. $27.2 million in new taxable value over those 3 years.
Over and above what we normally do expect.
Over and above what normally we would expect. So here's why that's important. To arrive at the actual monetary gain to compare the initial investment, you must calculate the additional tax dollars that were generated by the gain in value each year using the tax rate for each of those specific years. So to calculate taxes, use the formula value times the tax rate divided by 500 is your tax levy. For Young County in 2016, you can follow the math across, there's an additional $47,872 in taxes that we levy. And in 2017, it was $147,742, and in 18, $204,431. Those are tax dollars. It's not value, that's tax dollars that we've generated. So for a grand total of $400,010 in gains in tax revenue from 2016 to 2018.
So, 47, that's our county tax rate, right?
Yes, yeah, that's your tax, your total tax rate.
Yeah, 18, did it pass the certified number, or is that a presumed number or approximate number?
In 18,
This year, I mean, we haven't assessed.
well, it's based on last year's tax rate, but it's this year's new value. It's 18's new value. You know, it's a 70 tax rate, no,
And you're plugging
I'll plug it
in.
in.
So you're using the 17 tax rate or 18?
Right.
But that's 100%, not the 95%.
Yes. Yeah, so you can see 17, 18, the tax rate is the same there.
See, that's
I didn't have one to plug in. Okay. You calculate the cost to each of the entities. The total cost was divided by 3 budget cycles. So the cost of our pictometry, that was our aerial flights we had done, was $89,732. The total cost of our new software, our appraisal and collection software, was $271,877.40. So combined, the total technology cost us $361,609.40. Divided by 3 budget cycles, it's $120,536.47 per year. Everybody with me? Okay. Return on investment. Calculate the ROI for each entity. All factors of the equation must be allocated to the specific entity. That's because they all have different tax rates, they all have different taxable values because of exemptions, tax ceilings, and whatnot. So it has to be individualized. So in this, I've used Young County in this presentation, but I've also got a slide that shows the ROI for each of the other entities. Their gains vary, as I said, due to the differences in exemptions, freezing, tax ceilings, and tax rate. So using the formula, gain from investment minus the cost of the investment divided by the cost of the investment gives us the return on investment. So the ROI for Young County was calculated like this: the $400,010 in gain minus the county's portion of the cost was $87,499.85. Divided by that again gives you a 357.2% return on your investment of the new technology. The total tax gain for all entities was $1.6 million. The total cost of the technology was $361,609.40. So when we do the math across over all combined taxing units, the total return on investment was 349.3% overall. Now, we also, the other piece of our puzzle, in the beginning we had to get a GIS system. That was the first thing that we did. That's basically a state mandate. We had to do that, but I think it's only fair to include that in the calculations because it was. I'll come back to that slide in a minute. When we also consider our GIS project and the implementation on it, when we run through the map, county or overall, it's 280.8% rate of return overall for all these. So let me back up here. Okay, this is the math used that for each of the entities. All of the entities have seen a positive rate of return with the exception of the city of Grant. Now, I contribute that largely to, we haven't yet really utilized that inside the city limits. Our biggest focus was barns and things of that nature out in the rural areas that we hadn't got on the tax roll. New houses that are behind lock gates that we couldn't get into and that sort of thing. So I look for the city of Graham to recoup their investment as well by 2020 at the latest. So that's it. Y'all have any questions? I tried to keep it to 5 minutes, and I don't think we got it done.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
I remember right on the certified new property value, we had 24 million.
This year,
Yes.
I can't bring it up, but I've been calculating the other 10.
Wondered where the difference was there, and I think that you got on the slide 18. Is that right?
New value, 2018.
I think it's gonna be close to 42 million increase from last year.
You're talking about the new value gain?
New value added to roads this year.
$7.5 million this year.
Well, and I think that this presentation was pre-certification. So the numbers that I was looking at were on probably the ARB approved totals, and we still had, yeah, we still had probably 150, 200 protests on the books. I don't know, so
What, $9 million?
yeah.
You're saying the number you have up there is conservative?
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite a bit larger than 13 million now.
Good.
So,
More like
It's even
42
better.
million.
And that's
42 million.
22, and that software, what it was that we invested in there was all creating this extra income and taxable value.
yep, between being able to find the properties and actually doing the appraisals, you know, if we couldn't get behind a lock gate, we had 4 shots, angle shots, we could draw that property and get pretty close, at least be confident enough to get it on the
How
tax.
does the system actually do that?
We draw it out. It's similar to Google, I mean, but we've got better shots, and we've got a 45-degree shot, north, south, east, and west, so we can walk
Anytime
around.
under the tree.
Yeah, we can walk around it basically.
Are y'all using?
No, we do not use drones,
Yeah.
because those tend to get shot down.
Well, I didn't know if you could just go straight up from the
Our drone state approved.
We've thought about it, but there's so much controversy about it, and, you know, we were actually been accused of it, and, we had a property owner that was very upset. Someone was flying a drone around the property, and it kind of caused just loud concern, and he thought it was our office, and that was the first stop he made. He was not very happy. I see the usefulness of it. I think for our purposes, you know, they could be very helpful. But with the technology we've got. And, you know, every 2 or 3 years, we can have another flight flown, but there's even better technology that's.
Do you have a
coming down
system
the
by
pipe.
which the previous photograph is compared to the latest photograph?
Yes, that's called the change finder. That's what's kind of revolutionized. We had a 2008 base mount aerial flight that was the newest one we could find to use in our office, or utilize. And so when we did the flights in 2016, they laid the 16 over the 17 and they accounted for every difference out there in structure. Whether it was, highlighted in yellow, if it was a brand new structure, if it was a structure that was there in 2018 that had been removed, it had been outlined in red, so we knew we needed, if that's still on the tax roll, we needed to get it off, but people didn't need to pay taxes on that.
So your guy, Lee, had a, my property, talked about it, explain that to me.
So effectively, this doesn't affect anything that was appraised prior to that. We're just getting new things on the appraisal rolls that have not been there, should have been having a tax rate applied to that appraisal.
Yes. And, by law, if we find something substantial that we know has been there for 5 years, we're to back assess that property. So we do go back 5 years and back assess. First rattle out of the box, we found the $1.6 million house in Bryson ISD. And subsequently, that shot was January the 26th, 16th or something. That house burnt to the ground February the 2nd or 3rd or 4th. Had we not had the technology, it would have been
It would come and go.
it would have just been a guess. We knew something was out there, but we were able to see what was there January 1 of that year, and then go back and get it on the roll for 5 previous years. Otherwise, all of that value to Young County, and all its taxes to Young County would have totally been lost.
Does Google Earth?
They're getting pretty tight. Yeah, I haven't looked at it
Recently, they're a
recently.
couple years behind.
Yeah.
We've used it quicker.
We've used some of the Google technology to fill
I
in
look
the
at
gap
mine, it's way behind.
between 2018 and 2016. We've got an 8-year gap. But, we were able to find some, I think 14 flights, 13 flights from Google and fill in the gap. So we knew exactly when that came on. Of course, we knew it was there it was partially there in 2000. No, it wasn't there at all in 2008. So we showed it brand new. But if I remember right, they built part of the home starting in 2013, 2011, and then had added on.
They lived in the smaller part as they added on. I know them.
Mhm.
And then they had a big barn that has the living quarters.
Right. Which also wasn't on that. So.
It didn't burn.
Now, I asked Luke to come do this today because oftentimes we're criticized about investing those large sums of money into things like this, and so is the appraisal district. And it's one of the public in this court to understand that we have gotten quite a bit for our money in that investment.
I remember going to that meeting when you were looking at the equipment.
So
Software.
everything that we're using here, I've used in another district, so I knew it would work. I knew that the technology would suit our needs. And as far as future costs, the only real future cost that we have might come up the pike is if we have another aerial flight done.
Right.
I'm holding off on that because I hear they've got some pretty neat new technology. Towards the end of the month, we're going to Austin to a conference to see what they've got going on. I don't know if they're getting into some sort of satellite photography or what. I do know that they have at this point, I think they have enough all over the state that they're just flying the whole state for just a high resolution straight down shot. That's really all we need from here forward, just to recognize the differences. It's nice to have the four shots, especially in highly populated areas, but, you know, out in the rural areas, it's, we like to get our eyes on it at least once out there.
This was financed,
What's that?
this software was financed, how much more were you throwing?
Matt, the GIS system is paid off. Pictometry is paid off. We will pay off the software, I think, probably before the second quarter of the coming year. And the board of directors last year, when we ended the year, you know, if in our budget, if we don't use all of the funds, we disperse that back to the entities. I think we had a little over $10,000 to distribute back to the entities, which when you break it across 12 entities, it's not a large sum of money. And so the board decided to use that $10,000 to pay down the note for the software. And any overage we have this year, we'll do the same thing.
I mean, no check.
So, no check, no debt.
But less debt.
You know, you want to check or less debt?
Yeah.
We like less debt.
Saving interest.
So that's where we're at.
Anybody else have any questions?
You have maintenance cost or update cost per year?
We do, which we would on anything. Previously, the software company we were using was running about $35,000 a year for maintenance costs. And it's very similar. I think it's $38,000 annually. But, you know, it wouldn't matter what system we went with, we have a maintenance cost. GIS is ongoing. That costs us about $12,000 a year to maintain our map. So that means when we get a deed transfer or a property splits, say they own 100 acres and they sell 50 of it, but we need to split that on the map. We send that deed to straight to GIS, fly on down, and they fix it for us. And usually, if they're not real busy, it's usually about a 24-hour turnaround. They can get it on there pretty quick. So we still have a few holes in the map that we're trying to locate deeds for, and come a long way there. So,
That $12,000 though, so plans hiring staff and field representatives to do that kind of work.
oh, definitely.
So it's a
You know,
watch
to
it.
find to hire a GIS technician, a good one would be probably a $70,000 a year salary to keep. There's so much going on in the oil field right now. Those people can make a mint. When the Barnett Shell hit, I was in Glen Rose down there, and we had a lady running our tax office that had some GIS experience. I think we were paying her somewhere in the neighborhood of $26,000 a year. She left to go work for an oil company for $75,000. Just because she knew how to draw. So that's where most of those people are making their money. So even if you can hire one, they're pretty costly. That saves us there.
Very good, look, we appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
The information, appreciate you helping us out. We need to pass.
I'm here to help.
Procedures that we have to do, and procedures that we have to do. It would be much more difficult without your assistance. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that.
And their budget has dropped this year too. from
Yes,
last year,
the
about
budget has dropped.
14,000. We appreciate that too.
We don't want to take your heat.
5.6%, I think.
We don't want to take your heat, but we apologize for the heat you have to take for us.
And conversely, we take it for him a bit.
We're all in.
Okay, is there anything else that the court or the audience out here might want to bring up under this public comments and announcements? If not, we'll move on to item number 4. Let's consider county clerk's minutes from previous meeting. That would be August the 6th, 2018. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections?
So moved.
A motion by Commissioner Wiley, and a second by Commissioner Rogers to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor? 5-0. Any opposed?
I'm sorry. I looked at something I thought was an error, let it slide, but anything.
Item number 5, consider treasurer's financial report, updates on securities. Do you have anything in?
I don't really have much of anything except that we received a nice deposit from sales tax. It was $114,000. We're just 12,000 away from our estimated amount.
We got another check coming?
Yeah, one more check. What did we figure
We figured $1 million.
from 3 years?
On the last 4 quarters,
The last 4 quarters?
it was, like I say, it was that last quarter of 17.
Sales tax?
It made a
Yes,
big
sir. We
difference.
went and figured it, you know, it was $1,037,000.
Just over a million.
20,000.
37, yeah. Very good.
We collected $988,000 so far.
We got a check from Blackadder.
No, not yet.
On our securities pledge.
That was last time.
Excel,
Oh, I thought we
million
did
and a
that.
half.
That was last time. wasn't
It was in there last time, it just wasn't in the packet.
Yeah.
We've previously done that.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember.
We'll make note of the additional sales tax. 12,000 plus.
No, that's what we have left to collect. We had $114,000 this time.
Okay.
So we're only 12,000 short of our goal,
Yes,
of our budgeted amount.
right.
There's a good chance of getting $114,000.
That'd be nice. That means the economy looks better.
Yes. People are buying.
Okay. Item number 6 is.
Hang on 5. I'll move that we accept the security budgets and $1,500,000.
That was last
Yeah.
time.
We've already done it.
That last time, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No action necessary on that item, yeah, really, with what you gave us with information.
All right.
Item number 6, auditor's budget amendments, payment of vouchers.
We always have vouchers, no amendments this morning. Since we're having court every week, the vouchers are pretty low every time. This time the total is $15,557.67. And out of the general is $14,196.06.
So moved.
Second.
That means we're gonna hold up coming out of prison.
No, less than about, I mean, most of them less than $200, so y'all did good this time.
All,
Sir?
no amendments,
No, I don't have anything else.
no other items?
I know, it doesn't seem right, does it?
That's right.
Okay. Have a motion by Commissioner Wiley and a second by Commissioner Sykes to approve vouchers payable as presented. All in favor? Carried 5-0. Item number 7 is discuss and consider this Arctic annual membership fee, $395, that's the Association of Rural Counties in Texas.
Yeah, I did some research on RSET. I think they've been around for the last 10 years or so. 2008. And the lady in charge of it one time worked for Ted Cruz in his senatorial office. The one positive I would see is that considering the number of emails that we're getting over listserv about DPS offices moving out of smaller counties, and the fact that we're going to be looking at revenue caps, not necessarily to rural counties' advantage in the next session, that it might be worth it to spend the $395 to have an extra voice down in Austin presenting our situation and problems to them.
Well, that's not a lot of money for annual membership. They're similar to our NATO. We get a great deal more benefit than we do cost. I mean, we get an additional benefit way above the cost of membership, so that's.
So I would move that we pay the annual membership, become a member of our city.
I'll second that.
Where do you want to pay that out of? Non-department?
Well, probably ought to get that out of
Non-department.
non-department, I'd say.
Okay.
That's what that look on your face was.
Yeah, I always say, buy, pay.
Where'd you go?
Where-
Where'd you come from?
That's not commissioner's court deal, actually, or any individual department, that's the entire
No.
county, right?
Right.
Yes, it's to give the county some sort of advantage in Austin that we don't normally have, so
Okay, we'll do a non-department.
give us a voice.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Sipes, second by Commissioner Wiley to become members of Association of Rural Counties in Texas at a annual membership fee of $395. All in favor? Aye. Carried.
Judge, did they send an invoice or is this all they sent?
I think I've got the original.
Okay,
Maybe,
okay, we'll get it.
Okay, Mr. Sheriff, you ready to discuss your activities report? Absolutely. Let's go to jail.
Sheriff's one first. All right, there's some things that's not on here. I asked the dispatch supervisor the other day to give me a count of how many calls we've done in Albany last month. And that which includes arrests and whatnot. And I'm thinking some of these are probably in this 111, but she came up with 81 call sheets that we had to take care of in Albany by itself last month. Which, like I said, some of these were probably inside this 111, I just don't know how much yet. So, that's still quite a few calls.
81 out of 111.
81 separate, I don't know how much is in this 111.
Okay.
Well, from talking to her, I thought that was, y'all had 111.
Yeah, that's
They had 81.
Yeah, that's the
So,
way I took it.
and if you added it all together, it'd be over 200 calls.
Yeah. Well, some of them were included in. I'm thinking maybe some of them were included in this 111. Either way, that's quite a few calls we took last month in the county. Our arrest counts up a little bit too, and it'll probably be even more this coming month. All right, Sheriff, are you seeing more arrests for possession of marijuana than you have been? We've had, it seems like we have a couple every month now. It seems like that's getting more problem all the time, Mr. Mayor. Right. And on this
meth, and I think part of the marijuana too was, from a positive alert on Rocky. So
why would
So
you?
next
So that
month,
was a dog-related seizure?
right, and next month he'll have it, because that's what I was telling him this morning in our meeting, that I wanted to show you guys, you know, when the drugs, we get the drugs, if it was dog-related or not.
So why would you say there's an increase in marijuana?
I would think because the news media
Yeah.
is softening it up, and we're surrounded by states that are allowing it to.
That's the biggest thing right there.
Colorado vacationers may be bringing it home with them.
Absolutely.
Didn't look at you, Cheryl.
Wanna check her real quick?
So,
I fly, not drive.
there you go.
Oh, this guy's smoking weed. I really think it's a culture shift.
I think a lot of it is, you know, I think it's, and I believe a lot of these younger kids, like one of them that was arrested coming back from Lubbock, you know, going to Metroplex, you know, so, and like you said, it's easier for them to get now. So on the jail, they had 64 today, counting 64 inmates.
I think so.
It counts up a little bit too as well, like I said, with the arrest, it counts up a little bit. We were averaging, I think, 56 or 7 last month. And even today, it says we're averaging 56, but like I said, it counts up to 64 today. And it seems like we're getting probably 2 or 3 every day.
For the average population to be 56, though, you've got days when you got 50.
Yeah, maybe. Depends on how, you know, what they do in court, they can kick them out. Some of them will find out pretty quick right after they get in, once they get magistrated.
Other county,
I'm trying to look here. Probably out of Baylor County. Seemed like we had one, I can't remember, Stacy. I think one of them, we had one out of Throckmorton too, we kept a little bit.
We had one here for Wichita Warrants. They have to save you for that.
I'm sorry.
We have one here for Wichita Warrants. Will they have to save you for those?
No, because what happens is after we give them on the warrant, and if they don't find out, Wichita County has 10 days to come pick you up. And unfortunately, you don't get reimbursed for that. But a lot of counties will wait till that 10th day to come get them.
So on this 60 days that we've held city of Graham inmates, we're sure losing out a lot of money. Can you express that issue?
19 Class C with 60 days so far, yeah. We talked to Wichita County Commissioner Monday in a meeting we had there. And they charge $35 a day.
To the city of Wichita.
Well, it's not that much, not enough. What do you?
That's what the smaller said. $35 a day.
Judge Gossett didn't disclose that to me, just that figure, I misunderstood him one day.
Hopefully they don't like it pretty soon. That's my.
Transports were down a little bit last month,
What's the NHMR wanting so long?
but that's just
14.
normal.
I don't think it was that much last month, though, it was here.
I don't know, it seems like it's a lot of what we do that
Isn't this from the shelter out here on Wall Street?
That number doesn't seem to change with daily population, kind of stays consistent.
You got some of the Red River though, don't you? That's what 500.
We have transported some members.
Explain your calculation down here on the last, whatever.
Yeah, it's just like always, and he doesn't put it down there where you can really, it's, cost us $4.95. That's the way I understand what he was saying, telling me, we charge them $4.95, it costs us $3.41, we make $154.
So our receipts are $4.95, the cost of goods is $3.41, leaves us with a profit of $154.
As long as nothing is tore up in between that. But we can charge back for that.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, I'll be curious to see what next month look like as far as,
It makes you mark.
no, sheriff's report on total call of service.
Yeah, I'm gonna start adding that to, our, report, especially since we started August 1st.
They give us an idea, it also gives them an idea of what you're getting for the money too.
Right.
Because I don't know if they have any idea of what kind of call that they actually have. But also too, it gives them an idea when they get their new employees, a ceiling to start with or a floor to start with.
Yeah, it seems like we're, especially on the weekends, we're averaging 2 or 3 rests, something like that, this month so far.
Well, they've known over there that there hasn't been a presence to speak of, and now there is. So.
If you had more than one patrol officer over there, probably had at least the same patrol officer.
I've had 2 different ones over there just kind of standing on the cover. So,
Can I ask you something, Sheriff?
they don't leave.
Like on your, I mean, I know your deputies are kind of cut.
Which one are you looking at, the sheriff's?
Mm-hmm. Like you have 48 papers, sir. You think if you had a full-time service, civil case processor,
Well,
double that?
I think it would, I don't know if it would double, it could very well be more, but my deal with having someone that's full-time doing civil papers in warrants would be, it frees up my other deputies at night to do
Right.
what they need to be doing.
Instead of having to serve paper.
Yeah.
I mean, I know sometimes at night you're just gonna have to do that. But then you could also put him out at night and serve some too.
Right, and that was the whole big deal about having a civil process person is just, you might have to do his hours, you know, maybe not 8 to 5, but like change it up to where he works half in the evening and 9 o'clock at night.
So every paper served, not even served, every paper you get, you're getting $90, right? So that helps the county out.
Absolutely, the more we serve, the more we get.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah.
Yeah.
So that almost, one that could almost pay for itself.
Pretty much, yeah. Anybody else? Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sheriff. Item number 9, discuss and consider a memorandum of understanding between Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service and Young County pertaining to information technology services. This is an instrument that we've been executing. How often, but
2 years,
Maybe
every
it's
2
2 years.
years we have to, and so they pay for, half of the internet, actually, it's a little bit more, but then it could go up anytime within 2 years, so not much over what happens.
all of you had a chance to look through that.
Is that all they pay?
That's what it says here.
Just for that, is that all they pay just for the internet?
Well, that's.
They pay no utilities, no.
Here's the main line in number 5, it says, the MOU will not be construed to create any partnership, joint venture, or similar relationship between the parties, nor shall either party either in any obligation or commitments on the behalf of the other party. So that they are who they are, and we are who we are.
Yeah. Their computer stuff is their computer stuff.
Yeah. As long as they can work on their side of the computer stuff, but if it gets anything beyond that, then we have to call IT.
So we're not taking into account any in-kind costs to the county in that situation?
We're just obligated for our life extension services to furnish location, budget utilities, all right. And
Like I said, the office space and utilities are worth quite a bit.
And then we fund we actually fund an extension, secretary for us too, being in the trade.
Who was the gentleman in charge of that before they were done that came?
Oh, Miles.
Miles.
Davich.
Had visited with me out there about changing that sign at the annex. Precinct one, the agriculture extension office in England. I think they've changed names maybe 3, maybe 4 times since that. And he was talking, what would we contribute if they could contribute something? But he was ready to contribute something. Now Dale was no longer willing to do that, so.
That sign out front,
That sign out front.
what does it say right now?
Young County Courthouse Annex, Texas A&M Extension, Precinct 1.
It's kind of faded too.
Yeah, it's not a really good sign.
Huh.
But they're not likely to pay any of that, so.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
It's got all y'all listed.
They're changing their name.
They're proud enough of their brand to change it, but they're not proud enough of their brand to pay $300 or $400 to put it up on the sign.
You know, when they first changed that for AgriLife, they told me what, I talked to a guy the other day, and then one, someone out there on business, and they said it was an astronomical amount of money just to change that logo. Because you gotta change letterhead, you gotta change
Rebranding is expensive.
everything. It's very expensive to do that, but they've done it at least 3 times.
Yes.
And you think about the amount of money they spent just to do that,
Yeah, pencils and notepads.
on what they could do with that money.
On the side of this also, I sat in on an interview for a new extension agent last week, and there were 3 scheduled. One failed to even call Dale back, so I don't know what the situation is there. None of it.
We've got him on the agenda for next
Uh,
for the
The
20th.
second one had already taken a position somewhere else. I'll get back to that. And the third one we interviewed, which was Penny Moore.
We'll be on
So we'll have the next one. Did any of you guys get notification of that, about setting in on that? Dale asked me to ask. Like that morning, Justin asked me if any of us were gonna sit in with him on that deal. I had no idea.
That was here. Well, we never have before.
Like I said, we were invited this time by Dale to do so. Since I was there and had the opportunity, I wanted to sit in. That's all I got on that.
We need to vote on that memorandum.
That's number 9.
Do we need to accept that memorandum of understanding?
Well, that's what we're choosing to do.
What happens if we don't?
When they don't pay for half the
Let's get what we can, okay? I move we approve this memorandum of understanding.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Get that dry.
Have a motion. Commissioner Side, second by Wiley. To approve outstanding with Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service for Information Technology Services. All in favor?
Michelle's salaries and paid entirely by the county.
And we contribute to each one of these, so, at about $14,000.
I think so, not a little bit, and then their
We're
expenses.
contributing $50,000-$60,000 a year.
Well, I look at that there is that we're contributing to the kids' future.
I have no problem with how much is being spent, I just have a problem with where it's coming from.
Item number 10. Our elections administrator and the appointment of elections judges for November 6th general election.
Yes, and it'll also go through the entire election cycle until the next fall. September 1 is when they take office. I sent this form and an email to both party chairs asking them for their recommendations for appointments back on the 19th of June, and have not heard any responses whatsoever. Didn't even get read receipts on my emails. So these are folks that have served in the past. They are folks that have been put forth by the parties in the past. And so this is what I had to come up with, because we have to meet the deadlines to get these folks appointed.
Did you make contact with any of them?
Judy Blackman stopped me at the cafe the other day and said she was ready to go. So
So she sent an email with a red receipt,
all my
and you
emails
ain't got
go
no
out with-
receipts.
Right. All my emails go out with a read receipt, and I did not get any response. Didn't get any read receipts
Is that
back.
typically the way you contact these people?
I do. They also get emails from their party, their state party, and the Secretary of State.
So they know that this is a responsibility of theirs?
This is an every year, hasn't changed in eons deadline. I haven't heard anything from either party chair since the
That's
primaries.
what the parties is apathetic, in the voters' bid.
I just count the votes and spell the names right. That's what I do.
Always?
I do my best.
No.
I am still human.
Well, I'll make a motion we accept these election judge appointments as they are at this minute, was subject to change.
So that we can always sub in, we can always, if somebody leaves, dies, refuses to,
Will the court be notified of changes made on this?
I will use these folks first, and then if they are unavailable, we can come back in front of the judges, given that we have enough time to. There are last minute subs that may have to be done without court
Right in front of the
approval.
Commissioner's Court.
Does that mean rescind my vote?
Your motion?
Since I'm running this year, let somebody that's not running
I'll make that motion.
make that. I think that'd be more.
Okay, what's the motion now?
Move to accept this list of judges as presented.
Stacy seconded.
With an understanding that it may change.
You withdraw your motion?
Yes, I did. Since I'm running this year, I think it'd be more ethical to let those that's not running do
I feel like you're approving your own election judge.
That's why there's equal numbers from both parties, is what.
I see that.
So,
State that motion one more time.
I move that we accept this list of election judges as presented by our elections administrator, with the knowledge that they may change in the future,
Subject to change.
subject to change by approval of the Commissioner's Court.
as per state law, unless there's a last minute sub that can't come before.
Sure, that's per state law.
Upon approval of court where applicable.
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we got election, list of judges.
What, how'd that motion read when you got through it?
Commissioner Sipes, move, Commissioner Rogers, second, is that right? to approve the list of judges as presented, elections judges as presented by election administrator, subject to change upon approval of the court where applicable.
There you go.
Is that what you intended?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, y'all.
I know you're a stickler for state law.
Just try to follow it best I can. Stay out of trouble.
Did I ask for all in favor of that? I wrote it down, I said,
Yes.
Write it down 5-0. So let me read it.
item number 11, the clerk has asked me to refrain from that until the next meeting. She can
Reschedule that.
information together, makes
Available
presentation.
for next.
Item number 12 is discuss and consider quick claim of interest transfer of property regarding Young County Agricultural Activity Center, also known as the Old Ag Barn. I sat in on a meeting with City Council last Thursday for a little while where they discussed this matter and they approved the matter. I guess that's, I'm waiting on kind of some kind of formal statement requesting, but they had this also, this quick claim of interest and transfer of property. They approved that. It's at the court's pleasure to quit any claim thereof and transfer that property.
And they're doing it with the water bills that are owed.
So that is the purchase price.
That's stated in the.
That's stated in the quick claim.
Oh, okay, I didn't.
I did
know
make
that.
mention of that too.
Okay. So all
I
I'll
think
go,
Neil Mayor went facetiously offered the arena back if you want it.
Didn't want it?
Excuse me?
Did they want it?
No,
I
they
said, if
offered
you
us
want
back.
Okay.
He offered it back.
Oh, they did in exchange for that?
What?
What did you tell them?
I said, no, that wasn't in there.
good,
That's not the question
That
at the
wasn't in
moment.
consideration,
good answer.
but I'll ask them.
They have a whole lot more means of making revenue than what we have.
New one does, oh, yeah.
Well, we went into it knowing that it wouldn't fund its sale on its own operation. They did too.
How close is it getting?
I don't know what it's getting now, and I can't remember.
70, 80%?
I don't know.
They have a lot of events out there all the
That's
time.
it. I know. You've got a lot of expense.
They
What's
put
the
a lot
difference
into
between events?
We contribute to it because there's inmates that go out there, at least 6 and 7 every day.
We can work with it
Where are they at now? I don't know. We had about $1 million cash invested in it, underwrote the whole project. Probably had at least that much in kind in there too. When it was granted under lease, it's under lease, what it is to the city.
It's now entirely in the city limits?
Well, I'm not sure. It's either adjacent to it. I believe it's all in there. I believe
It's all in there.
Yeah, it's
They
annexed,
took in Craig Street?
it's all annexed into it.
I don't know, they put several $1 million into it, in improvements and expansions. They had it, so. Now, we'll make one comment here, a little comment. It was first the arena, and after the arena came in here, then there were 2 motels, 3 or 4 new will be new restaurants, several fast food places, stretch malls. A lot of new businesses come in too since that occurred, so there's been lots of economic development, partially, at least partially, to establishment of that. There's been a lot of commerce. One of them won't look after themselves or won't fund themselves unless you calculate into that the economic benefit that it brings to your merchants, your businesses in the area.
And it's booked right every weekend.
It has a limited effect on the economy here. Not a lot of those people spending that are venture downtown.
Most of them sleep in their trailers.
But
That's
yeah,
what I'm saying,
that's
right.
where stress-
But you look at that Holiday Inn, and that's what's going on
Yeah,
there.
it is,
That's
if
pretty
it's something big.
It'll be interesting to know what the daily operation rate is. Motels, I don't know. Talk about gasoline, batteries, tires, food, lodging.
Speeding ticket.
Well, I move we go ahead and accept this quick claim deed and transfer the property, transfer this property to the city of Grant.
Yeah, a little better wording would be execute. We execute this good fund. Pursuant to their request, receiving that. I'm sure I'll get it. I expected to have it today.
Okay.
I may do it on their email, and I wouldn't have been surprised when I'm having it present.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Mr. Wiley, second by Mr. Pruitt, to execute quit claim of interest and transfer of property of the old ag barn down at Farmers Park to the city of Grant. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried 5-0.
So I'll probably have a partial electric bill and a partial gas bill coming up, and I guess I need to know when we need to cancel insurance on it. Just wait till we get it signed quickly.
Well, soon as probably when we get that
Okay,
statement
you
out.
let me know
They
and,
did make a comment that, the intent was to be effective the 1st of October, but when they found out that the event that had been there had been canceled, and there was no other event scheduled in there, they kind of indicated, that anytime sooner would be fine.
we'll
It
cancel
states,
insurance when you tell us.
it states this in this quick claim too,
Yeah.
owner of the board.
What are they going to do? What's their intention of it?
Well, they initially told us that, Brandon had told me that their thought was just eliminate food, but I think that's changed now. They maybe intend on reconditioning it in some form or fashion. They've probably got some other plans. I don't know, they didn't say what they were just exactly, but I took it from their discussion that there was, they might have had some different plans for it.
It'd be a better use what it is right now.
Not gonna be used as overflow that you made, so.
Wouldn't think so.
Were you there during that discussion?
No.
They suggested that we need to be better partners or bigger partners.
No, I wasn't there for that discussion. I did read about it.
Ready to go ahead and sign that?
Yeah.
Go
it down if we did.
I thought.
All in favor?
Uh,
I think I did, I think I did. Wrote it down the other day, didn't we? Consideration on that, the record for the water service bill currently due.
Because I have one, I'll just have her pull the one I have, and I shouldn't get another one. The one now is.
Well, it's said in there, it covered whether it's one or partial
Okay.
or whatever, so,
Whatever.
yeah, whatever the water bill ends up being. Yeah.
So we may just have, like I say, have a little bit on electricity, because I had it shut off a week ago Friday, and we had just paid the current one, we paid the current gas.
Explain to us, Stacy, about that electric bill.
I just reading on there, with energy charge is $40. Total bill was $260 because of all the charges on there, and we got a demand meter of 18, which they calculate on that energy charge too, so. So it's $260, but there's only $40 worth of electricity used. All those other
Charges piled on.
services, transmission line charges and all that. And I thought 10 was the most you could get on the demand meter. This was 18.
You know, I think the way that demand meter works is whenever you kick something on electricity, and it's most expensive at the peak time of the day.
Yeah.
So whenever that kicks in, that's what it carries through the whole month.
Every 15 minutes, it's calculated every 15 minutes for
Yeah.
a 4-hour cycle. So if you go in there and flick your lights on and your electricity, first thing in the morning, that surge will hit it.
And you'll pay more for your morning electricity.
Well, that sets the standard for the whole day. And
Well, it
then
sets it for the whole day.
For the whole day, and then it sets it for the whole month.
So leave your lights off in the morning.
That's why they've got these deals on these pump units now that knows when the current time is, and that motor will start slowly and with less amperage, and then going up so it don't hit that.
Cheaper to get up at 3:30 in the morning, turn your lights on?
Yeah, it would be.
Starting on one
One at a time, not all of it at one time.
15. Got us playing games.
Item number 13, discuss, consider requesting seal bids to sell 2008 Ford E cat backhoe, Jimmy Valley, precinct 4.
Let's do 13 and 14 together. I'm basically going to either going to sell it, go out for bids, or I'm going to put it before an auction. And I'm going to talk to them either way.
I'll put it in auction.
Yeah, either way.
They've got deals.
I've got gut deals, I'm going to do either one of them. That's why I put both of them on here, so I can consider which one I'm going to go with both of
You
them.
put out our similar bids and put it on auction.
Yes. Or I can just do the auction or just do the sealed bids.
So you want to advertise the seal bids for each, well, that's the same piece of equipment, I guess.
Yes, same piece of equipment.
Request bids.
Receive in my office by 4 o'clock on the 24th.
Authorization to sell at auction.
Open at 10 a.m. on the 27th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're going to request bids on this, to be open when?
10 a.m. on the 27th.
So each
It'll be received by 4 on Friday prior to that, which will be the 24th, and then be open on at 10 a.m. on the 27th.
going to be open in September.
8/27.
September,
September.
yeah. Or no, it'll be August.
August.
August, not September, August.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, August,
August 27th.
yes.
We want to go ahead and send the letters out.
Yes.
Proceed, that's gonna be the 24th,
Yes, sir.
23rd.
24th, and then on Friday, yes,
Yes, 24th is Friday.
by 4 o'clock.
24th by 4.
Yes, sir.
So if you don't sell on the 27th, then you're going to auction.
Yes.
That's correct.
Authorization to sell at auction. We need something else added to that a little bit, need to be after the 27th of August.
You fine?
So if not sold by sealed bid, it will go to auction on the 27th. You have these?
Well, we're gonna request bids, we got to receive bids and open them if they are prior to a sale at auction.
Bids in by the 24th.
We're open at 27.
If they don't sell, then we'll go get
I
them.
guess you could put the auction on there on the 27th, and if you don't accept those bids, then, or if you do accept a bid, we could table the auction on the 27th. I mean, can you do that?
Well, the thing is, the way it is there, it's designed now that if it don't sell the 27th, then I have an opportunity to start the 27th to go to the other deals.
We had the request to combine the two items. And, taking that, Commissioner Wiley is moving a motion before the court to request the bids, and when we request the bids, we're gonna have to receive the bids, so you couldn't be selling it at auction prior to the opening of the bids. So we've addressed that in the motion, and we're authorizing to sell at auction if applicable after the 27th
Yes.
of August. Is that clear, Lud?
No.
Okay. All in
Rephrase
favor?
that one more time.
What?
Rephrase that one more time.
That's what I was gonna say, just give it to her.
Request it, you got that.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley. And who had the second?
I think so. Aren't you on G?
Pruitt.
Yes, sir.
Second by Commissioner Pruitt. To request bids to sell 2008 420E cat backhoe.
It's at 4:30. Not 4:20, it's 4:30.
Is that a misprint?
Yes, it's 4:30.
4:30, not 4:20.
4:30.
4:30.
Is that bid letter, do I have 4:30 or 4:20?
But it's 4:30.
Okay, 430 cat. 2008 430E cat backhoe. Bids to be received by the Friday, the 24th of August by 4 a.m. PM, excuse me, 4 p.m. And to be opened in court 10 a.m. August 27th. And authorized to sell the same equipment at auction, if applicable, after the 27th of August. All in favor?
It's a big paragraph.
Large intent. When you do two things, I'll be by some pig too.
number 15. We're ready to move forward. Okay, item number 15 is discuss, consider requesting sale bids for the sale of one 2011 Cat skid steer assigned to Young County Map 12 Precinct 2.
Forget. This is about.
Same day, same day.
He's
No,
gonna take
no,
it.
we don't, I don't need to do
He's
it.
got a buy board.
I got a buy board quote and a trade
So
in.
he's gonna trade
Okay,
it.
no action on
No
that.
action.
Removed.
We're gonna do what?
I got a bid.
Trade.
Sir, he's gonna trade it in
I'll
on
trade it in.
one, we've got a buy board quote on it.
So you rejected the bids and you're trading it?
Get $3,000 trade in.
Okay, item number 16, discuss accepting donations for reactive gear for Bell Mountain.
Yeah, I had that put on there, Jim. You'll fill it in, but Jim had approached me a while back, wanting to know if I knew where we might come up with someone who could supply the money to obtain a collection of reenactment gear. I use that word reenactment gear as a yeah, very loose term. Obviously, it can be used for many different things. Jim will tell you where it came from, and I was able to discuss this with a donor who made a donation, acquired this gear, and donated it to Fort Belknap. So, Jim, you want to fill it in?
Donald Frazier, the professor at McMurray University in Abilene, and he's also kind of over the living history site at Buffalo Gap. They had a college program where part of the program was you dress the part, play the part, or whatever. Buffalo Gap is getting out of the public history spectrum. So Dr. Frazier called Garland Richards down at Fort Chadbourne. Garland said, you need to call the guys up at Fort Belknap, they're setting the world on fire. And Don called me and I said, I would love to have some reenactment gear, but I don't have money to buy reenactment gear. So he said about looking for somebody to purchase, not at the full cost, he was just trying to recoup some cost because it was donated to them. And then that's when I had talked to Commissioner Sipes, and the money came through, and it was $17,000 worth of living history equipment. And I say living history equipment because most of it is actually museum quality stuff. Some of the uniforms, some of the guns will be great for display to tell a more comprehensive story of Fort Belknap out there at the fort. So either versatile gear that we guys we can use for a couple of things. Yes, sir, and actually the interesting thing about this is most of the uniforms that people see are usually about 1855 and afterwards. And these uniforms are actually the uniform soldiers would have worn when they came from Fort Worth and were transferred to Fort Belknap. So it's unique, looking a total different look from most uniforms that we have. So when I say it gives a comprehensive view, the way technology changed through history in that decade, it gives us from the very beginning of
Fair enough, question. There's some of this, it's displayable for museum.
Oh, yes, there's
Are there also uniforms that are usable for reenactment?
yes, sir.
And we don't have a reenactment group.
And at the moment,
Well, I don't know that we want all the care and upkeep for all of the uniforms. I don't know how many uniforms there is.
There's six uniforms.
Excuse me?
6 uniforms.
6 uniforms. Things that might go into the museum for display. That's one thing, but I don't know that we want the upkeep. I guess they're probably all wool. Probably susceptible to lots of different
don't think there's any more upkeep to them than we do for the dresses or for any of the other items out there at Fort Bell now.
And the uniforms that we got, he gave, the case that they came in is a sealed case.
I was gonna say, is it airtight?
Yeah, it's a sealed case, and actually, when you open it up, it's like those little big spring worm comes out, because once you get them in there, they're in there. And the case is set in the closet. It's not.
But if we can show the school children to come visit those uniforms, the actual area where the fort was created, and maybe even let them slip them on and take a picture or whatever of the history that was there that Jim is trying to bring to life for them, and show those uniforms and the materials in the museum. You know, there's a lot of things there, such as belt buckles, the rifles, the belt buckles, the canteens, the dresses, the myriad of hats, the different styles of hats that people wore back then is amazing. And this collection is a real fine collection. And I think it's going to really stand out and bring the fort forward into what we have planned for the fort. It's going to bring people to us. It's going to bring people to the fort. It's going to really enhance the museum.
I think, and you probably can say this, that since they've taken over, they have increased the popularity of Fort Belknap more than anybody ever has. I mean, it's
So far as Jim's vision, that place, we've barely touched it.
yeah.
Did you actually find somebody with 17,000?
Well, they took it.
We negotiated that price.
We negotiated.
Found somebody,
Yeah, it's
so it's no cost to the county.
no cost to the county. And one of the things that I want to do at Fort Belknap, that Fort McCavitt has done really well, is take one of these uniforms, all the implements that a soldier wears, and when somebody comes out, they can put it on, feel how it feels, the itchiness, how heavy that gun is.
Feel that
bags and all that stuff, that, you know, it's an interactive kind of experience. And
Think about an August on the frontier there.
you know, the thing is that like the museum out there doesn't have, the only uniform we've got on display is the one that I was put on display. So being able to show some of the fort history is kind of where I want to, things I want to do with this.
You got an anonymous donor on
Would he be anonymous?
Oh, no. Lee Allen Honeywell. I gave him a call. And since he was a reenactor, he has a special interest in that. Of course, he's very well versed in the history of Young County as well. And he was ready to make that kind of contribution and donation to.
He was impressed with the amount of stuff we got out of the
this? They've already made the deal for him.
He contributed that money to a nonprofit down there, and in exchange, he got the equipment.
We're just trying to accept it.
So, yeah, we're accepting it from Lee Allen.
Lee Allen.
We're accepting from a Young County resident.
You've already got possession of it.
It's at the fort right now.
Lee has parked it there anyway until we accept it.
Send money.
I move we accept this year as a donation from Lee Allen Honeywell.
I second
The
that.
value of it is what?
17,000. Just about 16,982 is the.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion. Commissioner Sykes. Second by Mr. Swift. To accept donations. Reenactment items.
That's a
Period year.
Yeah, period year, that's big. Because not all of it will be used.
Most of it displaying living history. He's got one. Said he was 47 through the mid-50s. Is that right?
They changed those uniforms over in 52, so we hit it right on the nose. light blue uniform, dark blue.
And there's even stuff in there for children.
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner Shive, second by Commissioner Pruitt, to accept a donation value of approximately $17,000 in actual equipment and items. On the Honeywell 10-4 bell lamp. All in favor? Okay.
You said you were for
5-0.
what year? 1847?
That's 1847 to 1852 was that uniform stuff.
Is there any way we can skip a 19 and get it back and forth? Can we skip the 19 and get them back? and
My
forth?
dad's out there right now, so he's out there. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Item number 17, discuss and consider burning restrictions. Item number 17. We haven't got that promised rain yet.
Maybe what we got.
Take us about a 10-minute break. Recess.
I think that would be good.
What?
10-minute break, recess,
Yeah.
no action on the burn ban.
No way.
There's action on the burn ban.
Oh, action. Recess, 10 minutes.
Can we send him home tonight? Make allowances for him? You're the only one asking what happened. Refrain. This evening? Huh?
That's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
It made it easier at times. I know it's scary. Thought you were concerned.
Yeah.
But we want the thing that's against your God. You have. But he's probably gonna have a secret. Unless you really nibble on his ear real hard or something. I'll tell you. But you should really care that he won't.
That's what I think. You can have that secret. There's stuff like extra stuff.
These are
It's
special.
the kind
Just very special.
nice stuff.
Is he able to go to lodge?
I think he's able to. But he's super proud.
Oh, yeah.
He's just really
Hope you'll,
excited. Be there with travel.
I think, what you think?
I just want to tell you guys, since y'all been out there at that point, it's never been, I've been going out there for 23 years every year, and y'all keep that place better than any of them prior, especially that last one. Y'all just keep it up.
Thank you. I don't always hear that.
I'm going to tell them here in a minute for y'all speak if you don't mind.
I know I told you before about house patrol out there really calm out there at night, but now that you've got Will Hill in force, I cannot believe it. I mean,
He was a baby whenever we were baby.
Will,
Yeah.
oh, he's a
sweetheart.
but
That's the whole idea. his mom, frantic. He was going, he was drinking. She was scared to death. So we went over and sat with him. He gave us such a hard time. His buddy was like, "Oh, he's gonna die."
So I had to sit and babysit.
It was fun. Yeah, Will was always just a super good.
Good one.
Who, me?
Will.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I rode with him for 3 nights.
Got the personality.
He'll do good.
Very good work.
Work ethic, yes, that
That's got a lot of people pretty well.
Will's one of those that's just, he always had a lot of friends, but he was always really respectful.
He still is, yeah.
Respectful counts.
Oh, man, I was so impressed at the young age, how respectful he was.
You know,
He did have an opinion. He did have an opinion. He always had an opinion.
When is Fort Valley Street?
The last thing came along.
Okay, we need something.
Born in Harris,
For
that's
a-
he was hatched.
Oh,
some sort of contract agreement.
Harris County, they can't find people down there.
yeah, he,
Let's start
He was
moving in that
hatched.
direction,
Yeah,
because there's
yeah.
going to be a few
Start
weeks worth of
growing.
Yeah.
the storm just,
He's a Smith, so yeah, he was hatched.
it's
How do you
7
polish
days
your
Smith.
We don't got that guy.
I was about to say.
Did you see that advertisement just when I sent you?
The video.
One in March, it sold in March for $230,000. Yeah.
It's
And he's only asking $150,000.
It's 1884 Colt Avenue.
You know, the guy down there, the one deputy down there, right there.
He's not deputy, he's an officer.
He's
It
not-
cost to fire him.
Next door.
Maybe said his daddy spent all year long
He's with the chief.
loading shells so he could fire on 4th of July.
I've got to look at him.
He's a big guy.
Can you buy blanks on it?
Oh, yeah.
Nice guy.
Can you load blanks on it?
You can buy a whole day. You can buy a whole set to go in there. They're real finicky.
There won't be a lot hanging on him, I'll put it that way.
Oh, yeah, well, those things weren't as,
Yeah.
they weren't as precision as they were all that
When
precision.
Concho shoots theirs off, they do like, try to go through 2 bursts.
Quit it.
Because they don't do this like that.
Probably the little vertical stacks work better than the turn.
Maybe a little bit taller.
Hackles, I
Because there's so much you can get tied up.
Hackles, hackles.
He's a big guy. Did you see him?
He's tall, he ain't bad.
Yeah, so, be excited.
He ain't bad, is he?
No, he was nice, I
I
mean.
am.
Like,
Okay.
if you
Be
need-
excited. You know,
But I mean, it's just like he's going into something blind.
A Christmas movie.
we won't hold you upside down underwater too long. This is,
I didn't look at it.
Did you get that, Mike?
what is it? No.
Read that.
I just looked at it, I was like, wow.
Oh, I saw, this is a copy of the one that you. Okay, you have some. Okay.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's why it's becoming. And this whole 7 year here is gonna make it that much better.
So the 10 cannons that we're gonna have.
We've got 10 cannons coming for at least 10.
For Fort Valley, just because they're gonna be here all
The whole weekend.
Because like Fort Stockton has like crumbled and like it's like disrespect and
They
they,
turned that into a carnival.
What has?
Fort Stockton. And so
Well,
everybody's.
a carnival event, not a lot of history left.
And that's what some of it's happening whenever we. That's the reason why.
That was my biggest deal.
Talked to Chris and I said, talked to Texas to them a little bit. When we can start working on a companion book pamphlet to driving tour, historical driving tour. And put a small book together with illustrations and fill those stories out a little bit.
That needs to be a stop.
And if we could fill those stories up, or just that little short while that Fred Stegall is narrating the story. Give a little background and make a little pamphlet that goes along with it.
We get registered
Sell it.
on before.
Who could do illustrations?
Almost every day. He does it almost every day when
Does
somebody
he?
comes in, when the kids.
Start working on that driving. Okay.
Yep, he started back.
So, how much they got?
Huh?
Yeah. About the gear that was donated. After the commissioner's question. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll call court back in session, it's 11:15. The court wishes to go to the budget workshop momentarily to allow them
Yeah.
their presentation.
Big time.
Here's,
Yeah.
Cheryl, what number are that?
668, 010-668.
Jim, now, item number 19, budget workshop.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, 660, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was leading y'all astray.
Court fell out attendance. You're up.
There's just about everything is just carryover. We, reduced, miscellaneous, by 200. Auto and wheelchairs carried over. Custodial supplies, we reduced it by 100. Office supplies by 100. And then everything else is carryover. We're not asking more for anything. There's, for building repair and maintenance to carry over that 5,000. This year we are, gonna use that for, the trees that are on top of the buildings, because for insurance purposes and all that, and we don't have anything to get up high, to get those. No extension ladder or any of our, saws will reach up there. And there are some that are getting really close or on, like above the grape arbor to the corner of it towards the back. And so to keep them from damaging the grape arbor or anything like that,
And the roofs of the building.
yeah, the roofs of the buildings. And there are some that, you know, the electrical lines, we called the electrical companies to see if that is there, on their side, and they said no. So, so we're going to use some of that for that this year. But
More or less preventative maintenance. then.
yes.
Because if he tries to saw those, they're gonna hit that roof.
You
You
can
gotta
hire-
get them off the roof then.
Cause more damage than what.
Yes.
The insurance did until you get them.
So you've got a contractor already hired to do this?
Well, we've got a guy that came in.
The arbor
Yeah.
service.
They got a guy.
No, it's the arbor.
Arbor
professional
service, something or other.
tree.
They came out and did it. We got a system lift and all that stuff.
Are they, been in business a while?
Yeah.
From where?
The arbor, I think they're from here. I want to say, you may have told me.
The only ones I probably told you about was the trustees.
It was somebody that had come out a long time
Well, that's kind of, particular kind of an arbor, and it's not everybody knows how to take care of them.
ago. Right, and that's why, well, we don't, it's not necessarily that it's arbor, it's to keep the trees from touching the arbor or damaging it. So,
Plus other buildings that have the branches
Oh.
all around.
The overhang.
Right, the
So you
entire
can
front.
hire people to
We haven't hired anybody, no. We've done everything else. We trim all the trees, but this is just stuff because if the stuff hanging over the arbor, if we were to cut that, the way it is, we could damage the arbor. And to prevent that, we need somebody that can pull it away and get up high enough to attach onto that.
It's dangerous too.
Yeah.
Professional services.
Right.
Yeah, to get it to land the right way without hurting anything. And then the stuff on the buildings, cutting that, if it's, I mean, you have to get up way high to get those, to slowly cut those back so they don't hit the roof because it could damage the roof for insurance. I mean, we've spoke about it in the past. And I have his part not with me. It's the Arbor Professional Tree Trimming Service.
I've seen something run around town here called the arborist.
Yes, that's what it is. It's local.
Insured and bonded. Do you know? If they damage one of the roofs, or damage the yard.
Well, then I will check that before
Yeah.
I will check that this week. I mean, we won't be using anything that's outside the budget or.
And they probably got better insurance than the inmates.
Yeah.
Coach Waldron has a free cutting service, and I think he's bonded.
Here this had the rent, I said, you left though and all that. Need a bucket probably.
Well, that was our thing, is that, because we would have to get, the stuff that's over those buildings, I mean, you have to get up in those trees. And we don't have anything at the fort that we can use. Yeah, and the ones on the wires, we can't, I mean, if we were to accidentally hit one of those, it's gonna pull it off the buildings and off, I mean, it would just.
So I think you're doing the right thing, trying
These guys, whenever they came out and looked, I was explaining to them what I can get. But that, when you have those huge branches hanging over the buildings is kind of what the concern was because
everything.
You have a dead tree just to the left as you pull into the fort.
Cedar tree.
Cedar tree. Is that not a danger if someone tries to climb on that?
I want to repurpose the wood. It started, it just doesn't bloom. It doesn't, it's just,
It's gone.
it's been dead. I didn't know if there was
And could you cut it down and salvage the wood?
I think we could. I think I could repurpose that wood for something amazing.
I think it could actually be.
It's been dead it's been dead since we've gotten there. It's just not.
Tucked right in that corner.
It's not falling down. It's not like rotting down. It's just not blooming.
It's got a long arm sticking out on it.
Yeah.
I was afraid of somebody getting out on the end of that arm and bouncing around on it and breaking it off.
Yeah, I hit my head on it quite a bit when I'm mowing. But I think it could be repurposed for something inside the museum because he does a lot of the woodwork to burn into that wood and
Make neat signs or something.
neat signs for Belmont.
And I was out there last week and they trimmed all the trees that they can actually trim, they can reach. There's a huge pile. So despite anybody ever saying that they are not doing their job, they're not doing their job.
What are we going to do with that pile?
Well, if
They
y'all
are
lifted
doing
the
a
burn
good job.
restriction, I would have burned it, but,
Yeah.
it's,
I mean, there's nothing we can do with it right
It's
now.
awful close to your house.
I know.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's right
that's,
there.
well,
next to
but
our
that
fence.
pile's always been there.
Well, the last time we did it, we brought our loader or backhoe out there, we pushed it all out and we burned it. And then we called the fire department, the Newcastle,
Yeah, but I mean, we had talked about maybe renting something to chop it and get it chopped up because I mean, there's nothing we can do with it. And we trim trees almost every week. I mean, it is a constant, and because every time it rains, they'll drop those pecan trees down. And if it makes them too limp, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You got to cut them. So,
Believe me, you talk to precinct commissioners that understand trees in the way. Over the road.
And a lot of those pecan trees, I mean, once they start blooming, when the pecans are on them, they start sagging. But as soon as those pecans drop, they're way back up. And so, I mean, you're just.
Look at that barn pile out there forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
place where it's been stacked, burned, left stacked for a long time. And then it needs to be burned.
And we've already burned probably twice.
Numerous
a
piles.
large
And
piles.
as much as y'all got right now, if y'all try to shred all that, we'll be out there for 3 days.
Well, and that was another thing, having her out there also cut down the cost of having a professional service come out there, because that's what they do, is they grind all up and stuff. But, anyway.
With our budget, we're not asking any extra, it's, I mean, we've actually come down.
How much they retired when you picked up?
What?
The tires on the pickup?
We have not had to
We
get, we
haven't?
haven't had to replace them, they've been holding up really well. The back ones, because we replaced the front ones, and the back ones were the ones that were next to be replaced, and we haven't had to replace them. They've been, the air, they've been staying aired up, no. Any issues so far,
Vehicle
so.
tires?
I'm sorry?
Vehicle tires?
Text?
Tires.
Tires. The tires, because last year we had to do, and we put in the budget to, have those changed, but, we haven't had to, so.
Can I make a suggestion also? I think they need to get, they use our trailer some, but they need a trailer too. Whenever they're getting repairs done on that lawnmower, they have no trailer to haul it. So they're having to come out there and get ours, and when we're using it, they
He
can't
has
use
a
it.
trailer there that we can recondition, I believe.
They
Well,
can't
No,
make
that's,
water.
that's the Canon
That's the
trailer.
Canon.
Is that the Canon trailer?
Yes.
We can recondition that.
Yeah, that one needs to.
You're right, probably so.
Yeah. Because when we're using our trailer, then
Well, she can go to any precinct and trailer.
you can.
Yeah, that's something we talked about last year, we just,
But I am using that Canon trailer that hauls.
right,
The
and
Mams.
which is also damaging the Canon trailer, so we're gonna actually have to replace all the boards in it, and that's because we don't have anything else to use other than that, to move the branches and stuff that we need. Okay.
Air conditioner.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
for the 5,000, one reason why, the first year we got moved here, every summer since we've been here, they've had to come and service, and the way the pipes are, if it gets clogged up, and the only way they can fix that is if they come in and take that whole thing apart. And so 2 years ago, they told us, this is probably gonna have to be replaced, Air Smart, and he's like, oh, we put this in, it's been 21 years since it's been put in. And that is the lifespan of almost every air conditioner unit. We had to have it serviced because it it went out this year, and we were probably a week without, in the heat.
It happened over the.
And I
Yeah.
had to get a second opinion on it too, so they used two different companies
Yes.
to make sure this was correct.
A
It is,
legitimate thing.
right.
But they had to, his father-in-law, he came in and, his father, my father-in-law, sorry, came in and cleaned out the motor and did all that stuff, but there was,
Capacitor.
the capacitor went out on it, and the pipes, there's no way to get into them. All they can do is put these algae pills things in it, to hope that keeps cleaning it out because of the way it was built. You can't get into it without completely opening everything up.
So
which
you're
is-
suggesting that we replace the AC system?
With
Yes, they-
what's
with-
there.
Yeah.
Just carrying that 5,000 over and using that, because it's every quote that we got, it'd be, if we do it this year, then of course, prices change every year, and, $5,000 is the estimate.
Well, let me
I'll
ask you
show
a
you.
question, why don't you do it this year with the money that's already there?
We can do that.
We
That's
can.
what-
Remember, they're about to spend 3,000 or so on that arborist.
What's
Legal.
that?
They're about to spend some of that money on the trees.
But they ought to find enough money, whatever's left over, and find enough money left that's in this budget, finish it out within the line.
That would be a lot.
Yeah.
Huh?
I thought we were using the hot tax for the
Well,
arbor.
it's not the
No,
arbor,
that's not,
it's the
it's not a
trees.
project, it's just maintenance. The only reason they're using arbor because it
Oh,
refers to trees.
Not the arbor.
Yeah, not the grape arbor.
The arborist.
Right.
However, the arbor is in danger from the trees that the
Yes.
arborist is gonna cut back.
Okay, the 3,000 is for
Yeah.
the arborist, not for the arborist.
Well, and it wasn't even 3,000, it was 2.
In other words, we use it commonly
It was
around here.
under 2.
And I think too, whenever they get their air conditioner, they need to have, well, we've been talking to Ricky Reddings, who's a little bit cheaper than Air Smart. Is that correct?
Yes.
And I think they need to get a duct in their bathroom. There's no duct in that bathroom, and it's getting mildewy. So they need to get a duct in there.
There's, the thing about it is, when you get this new air conditioner, they've done lots in 21 years. It's just gonna save money.
Yeah.
Because the Sears.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
Sears
sewer rating.
Sewer rating standards have changed. It's in 21 years.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
tag
we-
on there is 1998.
Yeah.
We even already changed like the thermostat on our own because, I mean, it would just continue to run instead of cutting off whenever it was supposed to, so.
In my opinion, my suggestion, we take this money this year until we get it changed this year.
Let's do it this year.
Then I wouldn't carry it over the next year's budget. So there's still already money in there for that. And if you're gonna use 2,000 of their for the arbor, then you're gonna have enough to do what you're gonna do right there. Even if it goes over, if there's some money left within your lines, you got a little bit left up here and some more of these lines that we can use.
It's 4,000 for the tree trimming, wasn't it?
No, it's under 2.
Under 2.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because I mean, all it is this, the buildings and right over the arbor. Those are the only spots that
All
they're
right, I know y'all
planning.
showed me.
But that's what I suggest do.
That sounds good.
Because when you do that, you're gonna do the heating and the air conditioning together.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
That's
they
gonna be-
wanted it to be a half a ton, and they said it should have always been a half a ton bigger.
Yes, whatever it requires, get a half ton
Half
bigger,
ton
not
bigger.
1 ton bigger.
Okay.
And it'll be less labor involved than the air conditioning being used.
Our bill cut in half when we got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be surprised.
It's not working
It'll
for
pay
it.
for itself in the same as electricity.
Yeah, absolutely right.
It will be here. But I would get you some bids on that, whatever. Before you go forward with it, get it done. Because then
Yeah,
that
that
turns
was-
out all the lines, copper lines going.
Well,
into
that was
your
the
house,
other
everything.
thing, is it's still on the old Freon that is not, nobody
Yeah,
carries.
it's not 134.
And, no, and that's like, I think it was
It's
$1,200.
R12.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It is
Just for that, just for
Yeah.
that to be
Yeah.
switched over, and with it having to be serviced, I mean, it would end up having, for the Freon alone would be that much.
But that's what I would do. You're gonna be seeing a big difference in the heating and cooling.
So you want them to get a bid from R&R and Air Smart?
We have 2 bids of it.
Okay, and R&R was cheap.
Okay,
Yes.
with that bid, is that with going in there and putting that duct in there?
Yes.
Okay. It shouldn't be that much come off your existing duct and go right in.
No, all it really is just cutting the holes.
Yeah, that's all that is.
Put that in back.
Then go ahead and use R&R and start it up. Get it going.
That's just what I would do.
Anything else on your presentation?
Yes, real quick. Since these two, I just want to let everybody know my opinion of these guys here. I've been going to Fort Belknap for the last 23 years. And these two have, Jim and Amber, have kept that place up better than anybody ever that's prior to them. The grounds always look good when we're out there, any event that I've been to. I just want to thank them for doing such a good job.
Thank you for saying so, sure.
Good job, guys.
Very good, we'll take this under consideration. In a executive session, we'll move back to the,
And I am adding, I think when we talked about this, and they were adding 2 lines in there for next year, one called capital improvement, one
Yes.
called promotions.
needs to be,
And we're putting 30,000 in capital improvement and 10,000 promotions, and that, then on the hot tax side, we're revenue at 40,000, so. But when you see it on your next budget, that's what that is, because that money's been designated
Right.
for improvements out there.
But it's a wash.
Okay.
The taxpayers aren't paying any extra taxes on your budget because of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
no action on that. Item number 18, I think Mr. Wiley put this on there.
Yes. We have, been talking about, room. We've been talking about not only the room for other offices, but also room for being able to make storage areas. And there's a building brought to my attention over here, not far from the courthouse, that has probably 5 times the amount of acreage as what we already consider to be on right this moment, which would be considered by, with the parking area and the other area there for future improvements, future opportunities for more expansion or whatever. The building's in place. The structure of it is unbelievable. The storefront is good. It's already got ADA approved restrooms in it. The hull is there. The concrete slab alone that this building sits on is at least 12 inches thick. And there's no cracks in it. We've got Brazos Internet already there, right there at the facility. I just think it would be an opportunity here for the court to be able to have an annex, another, a place where we could put some more offices and give some relief for the courthouse. And I think it'd be something we ought to look into as a court and consider.
And it's close to you?
It's close. It's within walking distance.
Okay.
The price is a third or less of what it would cost to build a building on that size today. And to me, as the taxpayers, being the custodian of the taxpayers' money, that's the direction I think we need to go, in my opinion.
What price? What price?
Well, the price that they've quoted right now is $295 and $75 for additional acreage. And additional acreage is, it has a house on it, but that's not a big deal. But the acreage that's additional to it is 4 times the size of the acreage that we do own, we own right at the moment.
You say $295 on the building?
$295 on the building.
And then $75,000 for the
Additional acreage. And right now, you consider the parking lot and the drive in there, you're looking at probably, there's at least $100,000 of concrete with the drive in the parking lot and the drive going out. And it's got, I guess that's Pecan Street and 3rd Street, is that right? Which is one. Yes, right behind the paper office.
It's 417 Second Street.
Second Street.
Or Second Grove.
Second Grove.
Oh, so you're talking about that red brick home?
Red brick homes,
Yeah.
for parking.
And then, I guess that's where they made these.
That's where
Print
the
shop
print
building.
shop was, yeah.
Well, now, what is?
That's the reason the cement slab is so
What
heavy
is the
because of
plan
printers.
for the facility?
What is the plan?
What is the plan?
Well, we're going to figure out what we're going to put inside there in the future. You know?
Well, I've been involved in one or two of these, buying no plan. But is there any other consideration in the fee,
In the fee?
in the cost?
Right now.
Sure, there's gonna be remodel costs,
Remodel costs. You know?
but there's not gonna be, basically it's a freestanding building, as far as I understand, and we'll just have to go in there and partition it and section it for what we want to use it for.
Britton's building was a freestanding building too. Went in there and spent $130,000 on it, plus on top of the cost, and it wound up being the biggest boondoggle we.
Boondoggle defined as what?
It was not effective and it was abandoned.
You're talking about the brick building that was sold?
The Britton's building, yeah.
Church.
I believe Bear Gun built that?
Went in there, we bought that with not any plan to it.
It was a freestanding building, I thought it was concrete block.
No, it was concrete block.
It was cinder block.
It's a concrete block with a flat roof.
Right. Nothing at all like this building.
This is completely all metal. All
Jimmy, I
steel.
understand the roof deal, but you can get up here on top of this building, it's built up roof, it's not completely flat anymore, but you can look at all of the buildings around here, and they're all flat, except this one right back here behind us. Everyone is flat. Flat roof is still, I mean, I know why you eliminate something because it's got a flat roof on it.
Well, you don't, but this building is available, it's in the proper location.
Okay.
It's,
Here's an argument I got. We had a building, 12,300 square foot, that could have been repurposed for no more money than what you're talking about now, less, I imagine, and it was destroyed.
what does that have to do with obtaining this building?
Well, we're getting back right to the same thing. You're giving $400,000 for a facility that you're gonna have to turn around and put half or more or double that in it to get it repurposed for our.
I respectfully disagree. It was not an easy repurpose on that old jail building. It was constructed to be a jail building. It had all those myriads of cells with all those huge reinforced walls and it had to be knocked out. It's like comparing an egg carton to a shoebox.
That's incorrect. That was absolutely perfect for dry storage back there in those jail storage. The remodification come up there in the front for office space. But I'm telling you, that was the biggest. That was the biggest.
That building had seldom been dry anywhere. It had water in the electrical system, it had sewer in the floors.
It needed a roof, and that it wasn't the cause.
That's $250,000.
It wasn't the cause of the sewer backup. There's other buildings that caused it to back up into it after it was moved out.
Well, when we got the slab off the ground, we found the water leaks and the sewer leaks and the causes of all those once we took it off. And that was poor construction, and we couldn't have done it or ever found those if we hadn't taken the building off the ground.
You're doing, well, my argument is you're doing the same thing that we didn't do whenever we had the building standing.
Okay, we thought this was a good idea then, so if we get this one, we'll do it, it'll be a great idea.
Okay.
We'll remodel it just like you wanted to do that other.
Well,
And we'll do it.
Yes.
You know, we can discuss what we want to occupy the space. That needs to be a discussion among this court and among the offices here in this courthouse. But we can leave this courthouse full of the judicial departments and take some of the business offices out of this courthouse and alleviate the space problems that we have in this courthouse and make it easier for the folks of Young County to do business with their government.
and you're speaking about what?
Now, this is just me talking, and this is not in, you know, if you're wanting me to commit to definite terms, then you and I are gonna have to have a discussion with the rest of these gentlemen to define that.
Okay.
But we could possibly move the license plate office, tax assessor collector, over to this building where our old and elderly folks won't have to climb those stairs to get their license plates. We could even put a drive-through window there where they can drive through and get those plates. We could put our elections administrator in that building. We could free up that space downstairs where the JP could have a courtroom across the hall and where the election administrator now occupies it. We could put the adult probation in the tax assessor collector's office. There's all kinds of combinations that would benefit this county and this courthouse by having that space occupied by other offices that are not as crucial to the judicial system in this courthouse.
So pretty much the same plan that was disagreed with or that was present at the time whenever this building was pretty much the same plan.
Okay, Judge, that building is gone. Let's agree to do what you suggested over there at that building, and we'll say, hooray, you did a good job.
Well, it is gone, absolutely. And
It is gone.
I would rather put the money into a new structure that was built and designed for the purpose for which we need.
That building over there can be used and designed for the purpose which we need, because it's a big old hollow box.
I'd rather, that's my.
That's where you would start with. The building that you suggested we build on that vacant lot over there is the same rectangular square that you put up all of the buildings and offices in.
Fine and dandy. I'd rather put that kind of money that we're talking about into a new structure that was designed for, our specific need.
I just can't see tripling the taxpayers' cost for that kind of space and building when we don't have to do that.
It's in an empty box, right? I mean, there's nothing in it.
Well, it's got
That's why I
partition.
said, I think we.
It's got
need to look
partition
at it.
walls.
I'd like to look at it.
We'll go over there after lunch and go look at it.
We're vacant lot over there in Time to Drive. I would like to build on it.
Where?
Time to Drive, where the old jail was.
Why would you
Well,
build
I'm
on
gonna disagree with you there.
Why would you build on that lot?
People are so enjoying that right now, over there for certain events and
And
stuff.
that lot can be leveraged to pay for this building.
The largest quarter, why would you get rid of property that valuable? Why wouldn't you hold on to it?
How valuable is it?
It's the largest.
Give me a number.
No, it's irrelevant, it's valuable.
It's not a dollar amount, it's just where it's
In the
at.
county,
Where it's at.
Where it's at.
It was open space when we put the jail on. I can show you a 1956 Chamber of Commerce brochure of downtown Graham. That is a vacant green lot.
it belonged to the county.
County didn't do anything with it.
They did.
Yeah, it did, and it built a terrible building. It had to be remodeled once. It was laughed at across the entire country about the jail. It was easier to get out of than it was to get into. It was a bad decision to build that type of building in that place when it was built.
Yeah, but you know why it was built like that?
Commissioner Court approved it.
No, it had to follow federal guidelines with all the federal grants.
There was other jails built at the same time. You decided on the design.
No, that design was, that was promoted, that was the federal government. If you wanted to get the grants, you built a facility this way. It wasn't for construction, the construction was fine quality. It just the concept of the design at the time and what how the justice system was working. That was right there at the time whenever the jail commission was created, when William Wayne Justice took over our incarceration system over the whole state, including counties.
Well,
It was
the
called
federal government
Ruiz
caused us to
versus
build a
state.
terrible jail.
On the concept of the criminal concept that was active at the time.
Yes, sir, it was a terrible building. And it's not there anymore.
The building wasn't terrible. The concept was terrible, and that were some requirements of the building. Are you saying Burger Company built the shoddy building?
Why would you say that?
Well, that's who built it.
I did not say that. You putting those words into my mouth. I did not say that. I said that the design of that building was not good.
It wasn't, but it wasn't the Young County
Okay,
Court.
we agree.
The Young County Court only okayed that because of the money. There was $150,000 federal grant, $100,000 state grant, and the local governments put in about $50,000 to build that building originally.
How much, where did the money come from to redo it when it needed to be reworked?
The only place that there was any,
Where was that?
in the Road and Bridge Department,
Out of the county.
How much was it?
$800,000.
We can complete this building over here for less than that.
And it expanded the facility. It was originally built about 24 beds, and it expanded it to 42. And it put all of those steel cells in it, which would have been good dry storage. Forget about that, because it's gone. My point is I'd rather put the money that's gonna be eventually outlaid in this project into a facility that can be designed for our needs, a new facility.
I respectfully disagree. I think that building would do it just exactly serve the purpose you're
Well,
looking for.
certainly, of course, a decision to do one or the other. I'm telling you that we didn't want to do that 5 years ago. That possibility is eliminated. Going back to the same, pretty much to the same kind of program, is to buy a big facility, put money again then into the facility. We're going to wind up with
Right.
$500,000, $600,000, $700,000 eventually in this facility.
That's
I
half,
agree that the-
that's less than half what a new facility costs.
I agree that the open lot back there, just behind it, that's a pretty good piece of property for future expansion.
Yes.
So,
It's not only for future expansion, if you was to build on this lot right here, one thing you're doing is you're putting more government on your court, around your
Downtown.
circle, downtown. And to me,
Build your building you're proud of. Showcase it.
say put more government.
Why would we, our job is not to showcase, look at what we can do, guys, let's put our name on this thing. It's to occupy space for government.
This is the courthouse square.
no, this is the square.
I'm not interested in building any memorials, any monuments.
You agree? to
Courthouse
put them
needs
on the
space.
grounds?
Huh?
You agree to put monuments on the ground out there, tables?
Yeah, we got that whole end filled up with monuments out there, which is just fine and they're proper. But I don't see a government building being so.
You know, guys, what I don't understand is if you put, our constituents put us in position to look after their interests.
You know what?
Our constituents put us in position to look after their interests.
Not to spend money that you don't have.
What?
Not to just keep spending money, Jimmy. You voted nothing down ever since I've been here. You voted nothing down. Every time something comes up, you vote for it. Spend.
So he suggested spending half as much as you're talking about spending?
I suggest not spending it all.
How are we gonna supply these people with room to work and do the government business they have to
Wait
do?
till the time is right, till the wind farm money comes in, till we get the jail paid for. The time is not right.
Building prices are as cheap as I think they're ever gonna get in Great Texas.
Oh, it probably won't get no cheaper.
It's about as ripe as you can get.
The taxpayers are tired of just keep paying, keep paying, keep.
So you're taking a third tack on this thing that you don't want to build anything at all, right?
Right.
Not build what the judge's concept, not build this concept, build nothing.
Right. No. Taxpayers deserve a break.
What?
Taxpayers deserve a break sometimes.
So if you won't go for 750,000, you definitely won't go for 1.6. Huh?
Where did 1.6 come from?
You brought us 2 years ago 1.4 on that building you want to build on that lot, plus the value of the lot. Which, that number is arbitrary, I understand. So we're at 1.6, and anybody figures a 20% override and they're going into new construction, and that brings it to 1.8. We're going to be bumping closer to $2 million in today's price than that 1.4 you suggested it's going to cost 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago.
Stretching things, I'm like, I don't know that I quoted 1.4. All I had was a little conceptual drawing for them, building that I thought they could replace the one that was
Right.
demolished.
I had a conceptual drawing for that building out there at Precinct 1, which will cost $160,000 for precinct. And that's when you brought in your vision for that vacant lot over there. And it was going to be 7,000 square feet?
No, it's just short of 10,000, 9,900, something like that.
That's about what this building is over here.
It's tall, too.
It's tall.
Yeah.
Could you make it 2-story?
Well, we could double stack storage back
You
there.
could.
I don't look at it. I've never seen inside of
What's in it right now?
it. That's what I'm,
What's in it right now?
just empty.
See,
Who owns it?
Jeff Mercer.
Buy it, take it off tax roll.
Yes, sir, sure will.
Whatever we buy, somebody's going to own it. This just seems like a way to save the taxpayers a great deal of money and save us a lot of heartache in finding places for these people to work. You know, we need more space. Obviously, probation is cramped. Obviously, that second floor positioning for the tax assessor collector is not good. JP needs a courtroom. There's just all kinds of good things that can happen because of the acquisition of this building.
Commissioner, I think I brought all of those things that you're just saying up years ago.
Okay, well, let's tell everybody that this was your idea, and we'll go over there and build it. And you can say, I told you so. But still, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's a good idea, Judge.
I'm not gonna argue the point that we don't need space. We do need space. And we needed it for a long time.
Yeah, the folks that built this courthouse never thought it was gonna be that big.
Probably not on the same page with regard to what we need for. I don't think it's a very, I've looked at it, I don't think it's a very good location at all. It would be pretty difficult to make a drive up window in this.
Very simple way.
Huh?
Very simple.
Well, it doesn't look very simple to me.
Obviously, we need to work out the details of this thing so people can understand more the vision of what it's going to be.
For the outlay, for the total outlay that's going to be required there, I'd rather put it into a new structure designed for our purposes. That's where I land on it.
I think we've got a lot more to look at on this regard.
I want to look at it, I definitely agree with that.
I mean, it's certainly not the day to vote on purchasing the thing, but we need to look at it. And maybe you guys come up with some sort of conceptual ideas about what you want to happen. Visit with some of these elected officials and see what they want to happen also. It's their building too. Visit with the constituents. See what they want to happen. See how much money they want to spend. That would be the proper way to do all this. Maybe have a town hall meeting. Get together and lay it out and present it. You know, show them the cost of a new building. Show them what we can do for this, retrofitting this one over here. Let's hit that 1 block, 6 block walk from the courthouse to that building is that bad a deal. Because we're going to come up with another building we're going to do something with pretty soon, and that's that crisis center building. If that plan comes to fruition. And there it's going to be a vacant building that's going to be our responsibility to do something with. You know, we can sell that lot in that building as a package and help pay for this one. Send somebody else those problems. Free enterprise always has a way of handling problems that government can't.
You're suggesting what, Tim?
I move that we table this discussion for the next meeting, and I would advise each and every one of you to come up with some different ideas about how you would use that space or what your building might cost. I think we need to gather that up. We might, you know, wait and do it a little further down the road, make it 30 days. Let's table it for, you know, because this is a big step. It's a lot of money. A lot of decisions to be made. A lot of juggling to be done. Which office goes where, which office leaves the courthouse, which one doesn't. You know, what kind of space, how can it be allocated, how can it be used? There's a lot of questions there. All those questions can be answered, I think, by the use of this building. I don't think it's going to be any different than the building that you will present, because you're going to present a rectangular building with all those offices in it, which is the same thing as over there. It's just that the external structure and the slab foundation and parking lots are going to cost us a lot less money. That's the only difference.
I'll second your motion on the table.
Table till when?
Let's table it until after we get, you know.
Let's do it for the,
You guys be okay with?
let's do it for the second Monday of September.
Let me ask you, what's the status on the facility now?
It's for sale.
It's for sale.
You said 30 days on
You can stop this and go buy it.
You're just advocating a straight out purchase.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm
What
advocating.
other way would we do it?
I'm advocating a straight out purchase.
that. Not pay it out.
Well, the way you purchase is another question.
That's what I thought you were saying. We're just giving that.
How we purchase, how we purchase.
No, you can say, are you saying like giving the $300,000 for it out of our money we got right now?
What I'm saying is we have to get to the point that we agree that we're going to buy a facility, then we go to negotiate at that point there. I'm not saying we have to give him exactly what he's asking for, but you gotta get to the point that the court says, okay, we want to negotiate and what we want to pay for that building. And then buy it. And with money that the taxpayers
We
is
should
always
make
paying for.
finance the remodeling costs.
What's that? What are
You know, we have to find the proper use for it. You know, the judge, like he's noted before, he needs more room for his probation people in his courthouse.
Well, if you purchase that and house beside it, that'd be great on probation. I think.
Not that.
The,
I can tell you this, I've talked to the district judge is not interested in probation leaving this courthouse.
Why?
well, number
That
one,
would be a question like that.
in my opinion, if you're talking about courthouse security, if you leave it within the courthouse, then the courthouse security takes care of itself. If you leave it within the courthouse. If you move it from the courthouse, then you've got two problems you gotta take care of.
Probation you're looking?
Yes.
Why is that?
Let me tell you, there's people that come up here, 1 or 2 days a week that are meeting at 6:30 in the morning. This thing's wide open, there is no social security around anywhere. You have all kinds of different personnel going in there. Maybe just one female officer, maybe the only one up there at the time. Now, you talk about security, it's about as insecure as anything could get.
What I'm talking about, John, you didn't hear what I said. You are talking about courthouse security right at this moment, correct? You have a committee, right?
That's right.
You have a committee that you're talking about courthouse security. Those are the things that you're gonna have to address in your meeting. But I'd rather take the money that you're gonna spend on security on one facility than I had for two facilities. Because what would be the difference, what would be the difference in being in the off, away from the courthouse, and that one officer being up there, and still having a meeting at 6:30?
Well, I'm advocating, I'm talking about the courthouse in general. I'm advocating for them to be outside the courthouse.
But what would change for that person that's by themselves?
Nothing.
What would change for that person that's by themselves, and they're meeting at 6:30?
What do you mean, Jimmy?
That's what I'm asking. You're worried about that one person's security.
No, I'm worried about security in the courthouse. I mean, it's wide open to anybody and everybody.
What's a public
There's not
building?
It's a
anybody
public
here.
building.
Goodness sakes, guys. 6:30 in the morning with nobody else there. Sheriff, what do you have to say about that?
I think if, they changed all their meetings to 8 o'clock, nobody comes
That's
in.
what I'm saying, why not?
That's a plan to do on
So these people can go to work.
Well, here's the deal. If you're asking me, if we do this courthouse security, that's what I'll advocate. I'm not gonna, I mean, if they're gonna come in, they come in at 8 o'clock. This is not, to me, they're on probation. We're not here to make it easy for them. They're the ones that screwed up. They're the ones that's on probation. there's no reason for us to be up here at 6:30 in the morning. And if we have to, then we'll have to, but in my opinion, they ought to come in at 8 o'clock and nothing earlier.
I mean, they set up appointments with people that begin at 6:30 in the morning, 1 or 2 days a month at least, anyway. And those probation officers meet with their clients.
So the courthouse, the entire courthouse is opened up to them at that time?
Well, this one door is usually open. I come in here, I get here between 6:30 and 7 most every morning.
And this is not the only one. Stevens County is the same way.
Sometimes I find somebody waiting at the door, waiting to get into probation.
I just think that the probation should be moved from there to another facility, and then when you have district court upstairs, if you've ever been up there, and then you got people waiting for probation, it's nuts upstairs.
Yeah.
Those debates as to who goes where and what.
I know, you're right.
After we get the space.
You're right, and I'm gonna look at the space, I don't even wanna make a decision until I look at the space.
This is Young County, and Young County's Young County, but
Yeah.
it's one of the very few counties around anywhere in probation department still at the courthouse. They're either in an annex next to it, or some instances far away, but I don't know.
And you'd think that adult probation would manage.
Far away.
You'd think adult probation would manage it better too, that they'd have a male up there with a female if there's something.
Right. Well, I
But
mean, I think
that's
if they
not
were
our
in
problem,
another
that's
building,
their decision, I
if they were
guess.
in another building, you wouldn't have this issue here.
Well, they'd still be opening up at 6:30. There could be a woman.
They won't be in the courthouse.
Of course, it could be just a single outside door that you have to unlock the other end, with no other exits out of the building.
And that's the way Stevens County has their courtroom set up. They can only come in through one door and leave out of one door.
We're out.
But we can find,
Go ahead.
we can certainly find a good use for that space over there for something. And so we can continue to put it off, kick the can down the road, or we can spend a lot more money doing it. Or we can be fiduciarily responsible to the folks that elected us and not spend as much of their money.
Very good. 6 minutes after 12, and then recess for 1:30.